Daily Devotionals with open hearts and open minds. First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado presents Hope and Coffee with Pastor Hugo Venegas.
Hi, welcome back to Hope and Coffee. This is your host, Hugo Venegas, and we are studying the faces of hope based on Genesis chapter 6 all the way through chapter 12, and we have been looking at chapter 9, verses 20 and 21, that when Noah got out of the ark, he went back to farming. He loved farming, and he cultivated a vineyard, and after the grapes had grown, he made wine, and he drank so much wine he got drunk in his tent. And enjoyment is something that we have to do, but sometimes life challenges us. Sometimes a pandemic can throw a wrench into the wheel of our joy, and that it has done that to me. As you know, I want to do jungle time. I ever since this pandemic has started, I have only had one weekend without working. You heard me, one weekend. I need a vacation. I need some jungle time. I need to go into my community and lock myself up with the monkeys on the beach. But guess what happened? The people in Costa Rica are behaving like crazy, and they started running around, and the virus is exploding when they had it controlled in single digit. And now the president is saying, we're not opening up the country. We're not allowing international flights to come in. And it's very easy for us to say, oh no, my joy left me. Joy is not based on circumstances. Happiness is an inside-out job. So I want to encourage us that regardless of what the circumstances are, regardless of what's happening on the outside of our world, we can still enjoy life. We can still enjoy what God has blessed us with. So I want us to look at Ecclesiastes. We've been trying to learn from Solomon, because Solomon was a man who enjoyed all the pleasures of life. And in chapters 11, verses 4 through 6, I'm going to teach you a concept about how to enjoy life. I even have a little prop here that I'm going to share with you. But let's look at Ecclesiastes. You can pause, get your Bible, Ecclesiastes 11, verses 4 through 6. And it says, whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. And what he's saying is, if you look at what the weather is doing outside, you may not plant. Oh, it looks cloudy, I'm not going to go plant. Oh, it's too windy, I'm not going to have a picnic. He says, don't allow the weather, the circumstances on the outside to dictate your ability to have fun. Then in verse 5, he says, as you do not know the path of the wind or how the body is formed in the mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening do not let your hands be idle, for you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well. What he's saying is, we have to cultivate success in our lives. We have to enjoy ourselves without wondering what is the weather doing. And he's saying, listen, no one knows how God works. And Noah was locked up for a year, and he endured that because that's what God brought him to be in an ark. Now he's on the outside, and he's like, man, I'm going to go plant a vineyard. I'm going to go drink myself some wine. And whatever life brings, you have to keep working at it. So what I want you to know is, today we're going to talk about enjoyment is keep working on your bucket list. What's in your bucket? What's in your bucket? What is left to see? What is left for you to do? What is left for you to build? What is left for you to do for God? I mean, I have so many dreams. I have so many projects that I'm working on. Do you know why? Because I only live once. I only pass through this earth, I don't know, 60 years, 70 and 89, God knows. But I don't care. As long as I am here, oh my goodness, I am looking at myself and I realize I need a tan. I need jungle time. So I need to keep working on my bucket list. I am praying that the international travel ban will be lifted up so that I can get to the jungle and the beach. and work on my little skin. I look more European than Jamaican. What's in your bucket list? Keep working. Keep doing the things that you want to do. And that's what he's saying. Do not allow circumstances to dictate. Sometimes circumstances will move us, but we can go left and have joy. And if circumstances get in the way on the left, we move right and we go have fun. If circumstances get in front of us, we move back and we can have joy. Keep working on your bucket list. Now, there is one suggestion that I have for you, because there are two things that the pandemic threw a wrench in. My jungle time, and I was supposed to go this past April to a writers' conference. It's my professional goal to take a writers' conference so that I can finish a novel that I want to finish before next year. And now that got canceled. So I have to pray and I have to hope that they reschedule this conference either later this year or next year so I can go to that writers' conference and work on my bucket list. So what is in your bucket list? Let me give you the last thing that I want you to work on. A friend of mine, she's a model, she called me up and she was really having a bad time in her life. She was depressed. She said, I don't know who I am anymore. And I said to her, there are two things you need to do. I said, whatever is going on, you need to give your life over to Jesus Christ. You need to open your heart up to Jesus Christ. If you have an evangelical friend or some Christian in wherever she lived, go and pray with that person and give your life over to Christ. Or you can call me up when you're ready and we'll pray for you to give your life to Christ. Then I said, I want you to do something. And I encouraged her to every morning before she gets up, she has to write 10 things that she's grateful for. And before she gets out of bed, she has to text me that list. And she's been doing it for 6 weeks now, and it has transformed her life. There is another thing that we do at night, and we call it the arigato jar. And you can get a bucket, you can get a jar, you can get a plastic thing, and this is what we do. So every night, before 10 o'clock, we have to take a little sticky pad and write 2 things down that we're grateful for. So I may be able to say, I am grateful for my daughters. They texted me. And then I put it right there in the arigato bucket, the arigato jar. And in case you don't know, arigato is the word for thank you in Japanese. Arigato. So it's our arigato bucket, our thank you bucket. And then I may be able to say, I had a very productive day at work today. I got a lot of projects done. So I thank you, and I would say at the bottom, arigato. And then I would put it in. Now, what we're going to do at the end of the month, we are going to sit down and go through our things to see what God blessed us with during this whole month. It's the arigato bucket. So I want to encourage you at night. I know some of you do the 10 things or the 3 things in the morning. And I want to encourage you to get yourself an arigato jar or an arigato bucket. And whatever blessing you have experienced, 2 of them, you put it in the bucket. Then at the end of the month, we're going to cash in. We're going to count our blessings. And that is one sure way for us to enjoy what God has given us to do by being grateful. This is Hugo Venegas, all the way from Pueblo, Colorado. God bless you and have a marvelous, fabulous day.
Thank you for joining us for our daily devotional, Hope and Coffee, with Pastor Hugo Venegas. If you enjoyed today's devotion, like or subscribe below. We also welcome you to join our family at First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado. You can visit our website at firstumcpueblo.org, and we hope you continue to have a blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow.